We'll get you on. Okay, hold on 1 second. We'll get you on.
Is that him?
And his name is Dr. Frazier.
Dr. George C. Frazier. I should have said C. Yeah, Dr. Frazier's fine.
Oh, it's going like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's going up and down.
All right, 48 seconds.
Dr. what?
George C. Frazier.
Okay.
There you go.
Get some practice in, Mr. Amanda. Like in the morning, like after a song, you gotta do what's called a back step.
Okay, and how do I do that?
That song right there was Megan Thee Stallion, Big Old Freak.
Okay.
Then you can go into this new amazing.
Talk about that?
You don't have to talk about it. I'm just saying, just get the title of the song and the artist.
Gotcha.
And then go into new amazing and your guest.
Big old freak, big old freak, big old freak, big old freak. Hey guys, this is your girl Amanda Sapp here on the new amazing 102.5 FM. Y'all just heard Megan Thee Stallion, big old freak. I am a super fan of Megan Thee Stallion. That girl is killing it. She's killing it. She's killing it. I hope you guys
doing it.
Isn't she?
She doing it.
And if you want to know who that voice is, that voice that just came out of nowhere, I got Carmen Herrera in the building. Pew, 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 pew.
Hey, y'all.
Tell them hey again for the people in the back.
Hey, y'all.
Now look, we got this thing that we do here, and we let our guests pum themselves in. And when they do that, we're letting people know how excited they are about being on the show, and we're just as excited about having them. So I'm gonna say your name again. You gonna go pew, okay? Y'all, we got Carmen Herrera in the building.
Pew.
You ready, y'all? Now the show can begin. The show can begin.
Yes.
And she's here today because you've got some things going on that you all want to talk about. You and Dr. George C. Frazier. If you could, please go ahead and tell our guests, tell our listeners, our viewers, who you are, Carmen Herrera.
Well, I am the amazing Carmen C. Herrera.
Okay.
Make sure you put the C in because we don't want to get it twisted with
get it
somebody
twisted.
else.
Yeah.
From our great city, Houston, Texas. I am a money woman. If
What does
you
that
want to
mean,
call
Carmen?
me nickname Money Lady.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in the financial business for over 30 years now, and yes, I started out at kindergarten for those of you who are trying to add it up.
Yeah.
And I am really passionate about changing the trajectory of wealth in our community, and that is my passion. That is my life calling. And I am here today to share some things with you, along with one of my dear friends and mentors, Dr. George C. Frazier.
Well, if you've been doing math and monies and all this kind of stuff since kindergarten, I imagine you were the perfect choice of someone that Dr. George C. Frazier would want to work with. And you have him on the line, is that right?
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, it's something. It's a life calling. I'm blessed to be able to be chosen by this wonderful individual, and you'll get to know more about him and his mission in life and what we're doing here in our great city coming up very soon.
All right, guys. This show today is the Money Takeover Show. That's what we're doing. We're talking
taking it
about
over.
power. We're talking about wealth. We're talking about changing the trajectory.
Yes.
That's what we're here to do today on the Amanda Sapp Show. And if we could, Crazy Steve, we got time, we can go ahead and have Dr. George C. Frazier introduce himself. This is the one and only, baby. How you doing today?
Is this the great-great-granddaughter of Marvin Sapp? You look so young.
No, and I appreciate the compliment. I appreciate that, Dr. George.
It is great to be on your show, and God bless you for all the great work that you do. And you are a voice for the community, and we need your voice. We need every voice, every positive voice, every beautiful voice, every intelligent voice that we can muster to take our people out of the depths of second slavery and into the 21st century. So God bless you. Keep doing the work that you're doing.
I know you didn't want to put too much pressure on me, but you definitely laid it on just now. So look, I appreciate all of that. This is what we need you to do, Dr. George C. Frazier. I need you to tell people what Wealth Advisors Frazier Net is. What is that? What is CMH?
No, that's me.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah,
All right,
Frazier Net and the Power Network.
Got you.
I had to fill out everything, George, so that I'm halfway
she gave
in
me
there.
all kinds of information.
Okay. And I know we overloaded her with information, press releases, bios, and all that other stuff.
It was so much.
but I'm a humble brother, just doing God's work. And in 1987, I pivoted out of executive jobs in corporate America with Procter & Gamble, United Way, and the Ford Motor Company, and started Fraser Net, a global network to increase opportunities for people of African descent. And that's fundamentally what it has been for 32 years, and that is teaching, preaching, evangelizing, not only about the power and importance of the relationships in our lives and the need for us to develop the kind of networks that will allow us to leverage more effectively our collective resources and intellectual capital, but also allow us to connect the dots and stop thinking plantation and think nation. And that's where we're going, and we're going to disrupt the community in your town in Houston on June 26th through the 29th. We're going to launch our own nation. That's a whole other subject. But most importantly, we're going to continue with our 18th annual Power Networking Conference, which Forbes named one of the top 5 conferences in America not to be missed. Not one of the top 5 black conferences, but one of the top 5 of all the conferences in this country not to be missed. And there we're going to talk about 3 things. That's all we talk about and have been talking about for 18 years, for 4 intense days, 96 hours. We start at 7 in the morning and we end at 12 midnight. And we invite every conscious and woke Houstonian to be at this conference. We brought this conference to your great city because of that gorgeous young lady, brilliant young lady that is sitting in front of you, Carmen Herrera. We're there live and in living color, and we expect that our Houstonian brothers and sisters will act out and show up and show out. And so we're going to talk about 3 things at the Power Networking Conference.
And what are those
We're going to talk about business, money, and wellness, psychological wellness and physical wellness, because they're related. And we're still deeply wounded people. We lack trust in each other, and we suffer from what I call low race esteem. You see, if I do not like what I see in the mirror, Amanda, there is no way that I can love you, because when I look at you, you become a reflection of me. That's called low race esteem. That's driven by low self-esteem. It is something that has been beaten into us, enslaved in a sense into us for 15 generations. Just read the Willie Lynch letter. It explains it all. It was the first publication of that letter was in a book that I wrote 25 years ago called Success Runs in Our Race, The Complete Guide to Effective Networking in the African American Community. I've written 6 best-selling books. Not 6 books, but 6 best-selling books. I followed that up with Race for Success, the 10 Best Business Opportunities for Blacks in America. Then followed that up with a book called Click, 10 Truths for Building Extraordinary Relationships. Those books were published by HarperCollins and McGraw-Hill, so they were not self-published. The other 3 I did self-publish, which was a children's book called Who Would Have Thunk It? The First Adventure of the Fraser Foster Kids. Why foster kids? Because when I turned 3 years old, my mother became mentally ill. I was born into a family of 11 children, 8 boys and 3 girls, in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, New York. And because Mom became mentally ill and was institutionalized for the rest of her life, we were put into an orphanage at 3. I stayed in an orphanage from 3 to 5, and then because no one would take 11 children, we were broken up into 3s, and I spent the balance of my young life until 18 years old, aging out of toxic foster care. So the message there is not how you start, it's how you finish.
Dr. George C. Frazier. One thing I want to say I want to reiterate what you said. You said, stop thinking plantation and start thinking nation. How difficult has it been for you to be able to change the mindset of what you would consider how people think, and not by our fault alone, But how easy has it been for you to transition people's mindset? And I'm sure they're hesitant at first when you approach them with this in this way.
It has been very difficult.
Right.
Changing consciousness, changing points of view, changing how we feel about ourselves. After 400 years, this is 400 years that we are now in this country. We came over here on the Mayflower. It has been maybe the most difficult task that every black intellectual, every black philosopher, from the great African-centered scholar, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, to Chancellor Williams, to Dr. Amos Wilson, you named them. They have been writing and speaking about this need to do that. And it's very difficult. And it will take several generations to change the overall mindset where we are thinking as a collective, where we are thinking as one, in a sense. And I don't mean, because we're not a monolithic people. We do have different interests and different types like every other culture group in this country. But there's some common threads that have to weave together for us to take our place in this country and in this world.
This is what I'd like for you to do, Dr.
To
Joyce.
be all that God is. I mean, remember, we are the mothers and fathers of humankind. Yes.
We got a question.
We done got him fired up, and we're
Yes.
only in the first 15 minutes of the show. Look, Dr. George C. Frazier, this is what I need you to do. When we come back from commercial, I want to talk about this 18th Annual Power Networking conference that you guys have coming up on June 26th to the 29th. I want to talk about how you got to Forbes and why they acknowledge you.
There you go.
In their paper. Is that okay? Is that okay?
You want to talk about how I got divorced? Is that what you said?
Forbes.
Magazine.
How I got a divorce. I think you said how I got divorced. I've been married for 46 years, and if I got divorced, my wife announced it on your radio program, because I didn't know anything about it. But okay.
Okay, guys.
Let's do it.
When we come back, we've got more from Dr. George C. Frazier and Carmen Herrera. They're discussing the conference that's coming up on June 26th and 28th. We'll be right back.
Woo.
We done got him fired up.
Yeah, he got fired up.
On the line, Doc.
Is this who water is? Look, I'm gonna need some water.
You can have that one.
You sure? Okay.
Woo!
Yes. I told
Why
you.
is him talking getting you fired up? Yeah,
Because so my life changed about 10 years ago when I encountered Dr. Frazier, and you'll hear more about the conference. And more importantly, I hope that we can get y'all even more engaged in the conference. But Damon John is one of our speakers, and
it's difficult to do with him on the phone.
it is. It really is.
Let him do this last piece, and then I want you to talk about it.
Okay, talk about the story and why I'm so committed to this cause. But overall, I mean,
this is him right here.
that's him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
When I encountered him and I went to that conference, everything changed about my life. I was always a very successful. Yeah, I want you to use that. Very successful individual in the financial business. But I woke, if you will.
You walk?
I woke. W-O-K-E. Woke up. You talk about, I became a conscious person, not just about me, because for so many years it was about me. It was about me and how much money I could make and how I can, make a difference in my bloodline and what I can do and what I could buy and where I could live. But it became more about us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Dr. Frazier's
that's Dr. Frazier's story. It's not about us. When he talked about connected dots, ask him about connecting the dots.
He was saying so much.
He was trying to put it on
key points.
And I'll point out a couple things, like as he talked, and say, Dr. Frazier, can you expound on? There's two things I want him to talk about. He has a formula.
You ask him.
I will.
Okay.
And then I say, can you tell us more about what you mean by connected dots? Those are the two things I want to ask. And I know he won't stay on. I just texted him, told him he won't be on for the whole time.
Did he
But
think he was? He thought he was.
he thought it was. And
I'm on the phone.
I apologize.
It's not your fault.
I didn't know.
It's not.
He did. He asked me how long. I said, oh,
But
an
here's
hour.
the thing is, you have hours. But the thing is, there's other parts of the show that we have to do.
Right.
I haven't done my hot topics yet, and
There you go.
the main thing is for him to just get the word out
About the event.
I don't want it to seem he's doing well.
He is, yeah. So we'll just guide him into and keep prompting him. And if he doesn't listen, I'll stop. But get the word about the event and maybe 2 or 3 things that you want people to know and why this is so important. You know,
He
something
kind
like
of just
that.
said it.
Yeah, he
like,
did.
I didn't have any questions
Because he said it all. Yeah, he did. He's a speaker.
Right.
You know,
He
he's
do
a
this.
world-renowned speaker. You know,
Dr. George C. Frazier. And when are you? And he's going to be out here on this day or sooner?
he'll be here on the 24th, 2 days before.
Okay, because see. So we're doing more. I'm doing the morning show.
I heard. That's why I like. No, I had like house clothes on and
Yeah, I
everything.
know.
I was like, I gotta get dressed.
What I was going to say is, he'll be good to have. And we got to talk
We
to
can have him in the
Why
morning.
not? We need to do that.
The week of the 24th, he'll be here. It would be powerful. Of course, I gotta be here too, but yeah.
And then our conversation with you will be a little more question. What was this? What's the song?
So I want
Miss
you to.
El Varner for
So
me.
I want you to say we
El
can't get it
Varner.
all.
For me.
Pour Me.
And
She'll
she's
be
gonna
this
be
weekend,
the-
isn't she?
We
Okay,
can't
gotcha.
get it all out, but we want you back the week of conference.
We're back. El Varner. Well, you know what? El Varner's going to be here this weekend at the Texas Black Expo. You just heard El Varner's
Yes.
Pour Me. And I like her. So I'm super excited about seeing her this weekend. If you are not familiar, guys, the Texas Black Expo is this weekend, y'all. So get yourselves together, get your minds together, get your business mind, put your thinking cap on. Texas Black Expo is this weekend where El Varner is going to be performing live.
Yes.
So before we left for commercial, guys, we got an opportunity to talk to Dr. George C. Frazier, who is spearheading the their networking,
Power Network.
Network event that's coming up on June 26th to the 29th. It's their 18th annual.
Yes.
And so he was giving us such a powerful statement about why it's important to have generational wealth. He was giving us 3 things that they're going to talk about: business, money, wellness. These are all things that are going to be conversed with at the conference.
Yes.
And so I want Dr. George C. Frazier, to give us a little more insight about what people can expect when they come to this conference on June 26th to the 29th. Dr. George C. Frazier.
They can expect that their life will be changed. That's number one. There's no way that you could spend 4 days at this conference with us and not leave there with your life changed. In fact, we give a money-back guarantee, and I've been giving a money-back guarantee for 18 years, that if, in fact, the trajectory of your life does not change, that you are not totally taken to a new place and a new space in your life, in a new way of thinking as a conscious and woke brother or sister, tap me on the shoulder, because I'm fully present at the conference 24/7, and I will write a check right on the spot to you for all of your money back. Now, I've been making this guarantee for 18 years, and I've never written one check. So what you can expect is to be educated and trained and coached by the baddest and brightest black subject matter experts, African Americans who are subject matter experts, and everything you will need to grow your career, to grow your life, to grow your family, and to grow your business, and to grow your wealth. That is what there is to talk about. There is nothing else to talk about, because to be black and beautiful means nothing in this world unless you're black and powerful. Let me say that a different
Say
way.
it one more time for the people in the back. Say it one more time for the people in the back.
There you go. I love that. To be black and beautiful in this world means nothing unless you're black and powerful. And you cannot be black and proud and niggers too. White folks are planning for 3 generations, and we're planning for Saturday night. So we have to change this.
Yes.
We have to change. Let me say that one more time. We have to change this, because all of the statistics, all of the studies have been produced and published. The Institute of Policy Studies came out with a major study, 200-page study on the growing wealth gap between blacks and whites in April of 2017, except no one read it except for me. And in that study, here's what it said. By 2053, Amanda, 2053, 10 years after the majority becomes the minority, if nothing changes in the black community, black median wealth will be 0. In effect, we will have worked our way into a second slavery, trying to live in a market-based economy and a democratic capitalistic society without reading about, let's say, athletes who earn $100 million in their career, and within 5 years of retirement, they're either broke or in bankruptcy. There are 35,000 black millionaires in this country. There are 2.2 million black households worth in excess of $400,000 or more. Most of that side up in real estate. The question is, are they properly managing that wealth? No. We're a $1.5 trillion annual economy. If we were a nation, we'd be the 14th richest nation in the entire world, but our money goes in one direction, away from us. So the first pillar for the intergenerational transfer of wealth, which Proverbs 13:22 tells us that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So we're outside of our own spiritual teachings, and we're the most morally grounded and spiritually rooted people in this country. The first principle is proper managing of the accumulated wealth that you already have. The second is real estate, because you can't pass on rent payments. What's the first thing God gave Adam? Real estate. What's the first thing God gave Isaac? Real estate, real estate, real estate. We came over here on the Mayflower. We own the fewest number of homes per capita of any cultural group in this country. So that's number 1 and 2.
Dr. Frazier, hold up. You took over the Amanda Sapp Show. It's no longer the Amanda Sapp Show. It's Dr. George C. Frazier Show. Now, hold on, because you on fire today, and we can appreciate your enthusiasm.
Well, Amanda, you set me on fire. You have this voice, and you have this presence, and you have this energy, and you have this vibration that you're communicating. I'm in Cleveland. You're in Houston, Texas. I don't know what you're doing to me, but for some reason I'm standing up talking to you. Normally I sit down. I'm in my office, and I'm normally sitting down, leaning back in my big leather chair, but no, I'm standing up. What have you done to me?
You know what? Whatever you're buying, whatever you're selling, I'm buying, and that's for real. This is what I want to know from you. I saw a report today on the Today Show. They were talking to Kevin Hart, and he's going through a new system now where he's discussing money management.
Yes, he is.
And so in his discussion, he was saying that a lot of times when he got to his wealth, when he got to his monies, he didn't know what to do.
He blew it.
You know, the same way he acted when he was broke is the same way he acted when he got his money.
Right.
And so my question to you is, and they're teaching this to kids. He's going to high schools and teaching money management. My question to you is, how young is too young to start discussing money, and how old do you have to be to come to this conference?
It's never too young to start discussing money. In fact, I have 2 charter schools. I've had those charter schools for 15 years. They're African-centered charter schools, 300 inner-city children, 60% of them are black boys, and we have a financial literacy program that starts in kindergarten. You can start talking about money and the value of money and the psychology of money and the importance of money in kindergarten, just like you can start teaching a second language in kindergarten.